it should be. All right, it's going on 86. That's my channel. Gavin Reshaw. This is Gavin Reshaw Presents. I am live, and I'm live, and we're coming at you with 5. Let's see if we can get a little bit more people in here. Hold on a second, excuse me. Hold on. All right. So just waiting for more people to come in. I hope you guys are doing great. I saw this and I thought, and I got a description in the chat box. It's gonna be in my video description when I edit this later. But there it is from channel 1. So over this past weekend, Malik Yoba, he's a star that you guys recognize from shows like Empire, New York Undercover. That's mainly where I remember him from. Well, he came out, this was posted a few years over the weekend, as being attracted to trans women. He's trans attract. Now, this is a brother who I've known of since I was a kid. I remember when New York Undercover actually came out, which was in 1994 or 1995. I believe the year was, let me look directly at this. Yeah, New York Undercover came in 1994 to February 11th, 1990. Talks of trying to reboot the series. I've heard, and I'm reading right now, as of May 2019, ABC will not be going forward, and they were shopping for it at another store. And I don't know if Malik Yoba probably would be in or not, but obviously time has passed. And it was one of the hit shows in the 90s. And one of the great things I liked about the show was you had this brother, this strong black brother who was in the police department. He worked with another minority, Puerto Rican, Eddie. I can't think of his name, but the character's name was Eddie. He was played by Michael DeLorenzo. He was Eddie Torres, that's right. And he was Officer. Malik Yoba was J.C. Williams. And their lieutenant, who was over the precinct, was played by Patty D'Armando Quinn and Lauren Velez. You guys may know her from Oz, but Michael DeLorenzo, just a little trivia, he actually was in Michael Jackson's Beat It video. He played one of the dancers. You can see him actually in the video. You'll notice him. At any rate, back in the 90s, we flocked to those types of TV shows as a black community. Fox had a lineup on Thursday nights of Living Single, Martin, and New York Undercover would close out the night, and it had a strong lead in. And it was notable for being the first police drama to feature people of color. And they canceled the show, even though these brothers, it was very positive. They did serious issues on police brutality. There were issues on racism. There were issues regarding child endangerment, child molestation. They talked about the dangers of of internet trafficking. Some of the first things that we ever saw about online chatting, and what made it even special was the black music that they played at the end of each episode. You had different artists that would come on, and one of the mainstays on the show was a place called Natalie. So New York Undercover was great in that episode, and they did have an episode that I remember where they talked about the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. They did an episode on that. They did an episode on Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination. So I'm bringing all of this up, and I know I'm going to get to the subject, but this is what I remember from Malik Yoba and as an actor. And, you know, I saw what he said, taking it in context now, makes me question things. Now, I have heard stories, of course, Tariq Nasheed, you know, he's always going to talk about stuff like this. He's like, he was not surprised because you look at, he had heard stuff about Malik Yoba in the past. And I was, was oblivious to it. And really, you know, frankly, what people do in their privacy of their own homes is their business. But it is no longer your business. And this is something. Oh, what's up, Regina? Thank you for being here. Yeah, Regina said she missed my last live, and I don't know what's been going on, but Regina actually said that she had not received a live notification, and I think YouTube is doing this shit on purpose, which is why I'm thinking of switching over and doing another channel somewhere else. But you guys got to support me. I'll put all of that in the description. Google Pay, Cash App if you can. Yeah, she hasn't been given notifications. Yeah, Google, YouTube has been up to something, and they've been doing that with a lot of people. I don't even believe I have just 2 people in my chat room. There's probably more. They've been messing with the analytics and the system notifications, and they do that on purpose. And they've been doing that from even before the internet. When Malcolm X came out, I was listening to Judge Joe Brown. He talked about how they would actually take the tickets. When people would stand in lines to go see Malcolm X, they would give them tickets instead of in the Beast. They wanted to make sure that the movie was a flop. And how they Beauty and the Beast, this black movie about one of the strongest black men we've ever known, how would that look to our people? How would it look to white folks that Malcolm X was outselling Beauty and the Beast? And then to say that Malcolm X was a flop and to say it wasn't a success, which was not true. It was a success, and you saw it even in the merchandise that was sold, the X, the cap we used to see, right? So, but getting back to Malik, I'm sorry, I'm getting off subject, a little ADD there. But Malik said in a viral post that went last week, he was attracted to trans women. And while he did receive some support for his honesty, the mother of his 2 children had some words for the former Empire actor over his controversial social media post. Now, the post in particular and was concerning a video of a man saying that he liked trans, and of course, there are some people around him men are around him clowning him. You can listen to the clip here. Hold on.
You said, keep it in B. You fuck what? You fuck what? Bro, you do what? That's third? Like, that's not third. You sucking dick and all that. That's not third, sucking dick and all that. He suck dick.
Okay. So he sucks dick. Now, I'm looking at this. The guy who said this, and Malik Yoba posted this, the guy unfortunately committed suicide after video goes viral of him, Philadelphia man, defending relationship with trans girlfriend Frances. Now, as I said, what you do in your own home is your business. But when you broadcast something that's supposed to be done in the comfort and conference of your bedroom, in your house, your 4 walls, and you make it public, you are fair game. If I said something about things that I did in my sex life that I would not want people to know, well, I just keep quiet about it. I don't tell you guys, the women I sleep with. I don't tell you guys who I mess with, who I date, and so forth. That's my business. I don't have to tell everyone that. And And frankly, while I'm, obviously I, don't condone suicide. It's a very tragic situation. It's and one of the things we talk about too. We have a lot of mental illness in the Black community we don't discuss. It's something that needs to be discussed at length with regards to suicide. I don't condone it. However, I don't believe in bullying and forcing people also to accept your lifestyle or your behavior. And I see a lot of that too coming into the Black community now, where we get these shills like a Malik Yoba or like a Amber Phillips or Amanda Seals, all of these people that want to push certain agendas, these Black people who will push these agendas onto us to accept, and not just him, Cory Booker as well. I saw something I posted on Facebook that really pissed me off, where Cory Booker actually had a new phrase supposedly referring to nieces and nephews as nephew and nepniece or something along those lines, that he's talking about, especially for children. These are children now. These children that you want to call them that because they may one day be transgender, or they may be. My issue with that is that we should let children, this is my opinion, be children. That when they reach a certain age, they don't know any better about life. And I think it is very dangerous. I think it is problematic that many of these issues are being forced on us, and they're being forced on us in large part to push an agenda. And I do believe to make, men emasculate, it's not just emasculation, it's also about making us intimidated, making you afraid to speak your mind, and drive a wedge between the family. It's about unit. This stuff. So with Malik, he wrote, "Attention, Black and is not okay. This video is another heartbreaking example of the homophobia, transphobia, hatred, and hypocrisy we as Black folk, Black men in particular, have to name, face, and call out and do the work to heal. This is exactly why I will be at Trans March on DC hosting a workshop called Love and Trauma, the Trans Experience on September 27th, 2019. By a 20-year-old baby who killed himself from an apparent drug overdose after his girlfriend left him due to abuse. Clearly as evidence." So wait, how do they blame his suicide on Black men if his girlfriend left him for abuse and he overdosed? How do they don't know it wasn't an accidental overdose? So what does that have to do with transphobia? He goes on, "Clearly as evidence in this video, this young man was confident in his choice to love who he loved, but the uninformed young men around him haven't been taught by us that love is love and acceptance of trans love is okay, and bullying has nothing to do with masculinity or heterosexual behavior. Ultimately, his mental and emotional health was not intact enough, and the fragility of his life as he saw it was too much to bear. Oftentimes, this type of shame and ridicule can lead to the murders of women of the trans experience. Not okay. Clearly, he didn't get the support of his peers who think that toxicity equals masculinity and humanity." What is toxic? Tell me this. What is toxic about promoting heterosexuality, about being proud of what you are, which is a strong heterosexual? He goes on that the fact that he was trans attracted, presumably. Hold on, I skipped the sentence. That being a real man means we must disrespect and demean those that find themselves attracted to women of the trans experience. The fact that he was trans attracted, presumably, meant that he had no safe space to go to find the support he needed to learn to navigate love of a woman of the trans experience in a world that constantly tells you you're wrong. Trans people deserve love and respect, as do those of us that love them. I love all women and count myself themselves trans attracted, and I too have felt the self-imposed shame that comes with that truth, but it's time to speak up. It is not about genitalia or sex. Nigga, what? But about attraction, as a self-identified cis heterosexual man, I too am learning what it means to be trans attracted. Many of us, famous and otherwise, that have struggled with accepting our attraction, so we do nothing. This must change. Now, once again, what you do in your bedroom is your business. I certainly do not condone violence. I certainly do not condone harming any person that's different just because we may disagree on something. You know, if you're LGBTQI and it's multiple initial letters, you know, even though I may personally don't believe in it, that's your business. I'm not gonna attack you. Now, if you came at me and ask me my opinion, I have a right to give my opinion. If you want me to know what my thoughts are on, do I think there should be gay weddings in churches that prohibit it? Should they be punished, meaning the churches be punished? People who don't want to participate in it should be excluded and fined and so forth, like the baker in Colorado? No, I didn't. And by the way, unlike what happened with interracial marriages and with Black people, the difference is, and people keep forgetting this, is that what Black people were fighting for was the right to be treated and respected as a human being. They were not fighting for the right to go and do whatever you wanted. Now, I'm not saying that means that person is entitled to right. They have rights to do whatever they want to do. If you're trans, if you're gay, if you're lesbian, you have rights to do whatever you want to do. But others have the right to do whatever they want to do as well. If you're talking about true equality, for those that accept it, people are also free to not accept it. So now Malik kind of put his foot in his mouth when he said this, because now a trans woman by the name of Maria Lopez Ebony has accused him of having sex with her when she was an underage sex worker years ago. Whoa. And this was when he was a teen. Now, as I'm talking about this, and I'm talking about shilling and being a shill, this is what happens when you put your foot in your mouth. And especially when you draw attention to yourself, now you've exposed yourself to another Me Too accusation. Now, this is what the person's name is, Maria Lopez Ebony. Surviving Malik Yoba, we had sex when I was just a teen. For all who applaud and salute Malik Yoba for revealing his so-called trans attracted, understand that either because of deeper issues he has or become of society pushing him and others to deep, dark places in his admission to being sexually attracted to trans women is bound to open a Pandora's box for him. Not because the women are trans, but because many of the trans women he engaged in sexual exploration and exploitation with on 14th Street, Times Square, and elsewhere were minors, including myself. I started seeing him personally with my own two eyes, cruising around the meatpacking district and village. Large black Jeep looking for trans femme sex workers. He preferred black trans girls, pretty slim girls, but would pick up a Latinx if she was put together and or look mixed. She alleges that this person alleges that this was occurring as far back as the 90s when New York Undercover was still on the air. There's more info about it, and this came from News One. And Malik Yoba's own ex-wife said that while she supported him, and she states apparently she was upset about him going live with this on Instagram. She says, as the mother of our two beautiful children, you already know how my support support for you has always been unconditional. I expressed that 2 months ago to you, 2 months ago to you, when I became aware of your current trans relationship. Why did you not have a conversation with our children and wait till last night to text our firstborn with this info? Yet you were preparing your public months ago on IG. Our children support you and keep so much a secret of what really goes down within our family dynamic. I asked to meet you over a month ago and you have yet to make time. So here I am. If you know better, then do better. Family is first overall. So it sounds like Miss Vega, was upset at the fact that Malik did not talk with her. I can understand it because now when you make comments like that and you have children, especially young children in school, and they hear your father is gay or transgender attractive, then what will happen now is that the kids at school are going to obviously be making fun of the children. They know who the father is. They see his Instagram post. And I can see why the kids may say that. And they may even have issues with their friends who may not support that. And, you know, who knows, wouldn't want to be around their friends, and their friends probably would not want to be around the kids anymore. Things like that happen. And I can understand why she would be mad and talking about it. But I'm more pissed off that he tried to make it seem like it's the Black community that does it. You've had, think about this, prior to this being pushed through the national media, being pushed on us through television, in music, we see it in our schools now. You've had Republicans, just hear me out. You've had Republicans, a whole party that was against this. You have had churches, Catholic and Protestant, made up of mostly white, against this. Although we could say secretly, they probably weren't, some of them were probably engaged in this type of stuff. Why is it that it deals with the Black community? Why is it always the Black community that gets the raw end of the deal and the short end of the stick? Why is it we're always leading something negative? Everything negative has to be, you know, Black people are not doing this. We're transphobic. You're homophobic. Well, you know what? There's another word out here that we've coined. It's called heterophobia. Since you can make up those words, I can say this. I can throw it back after you. I think it's heterophobia. I think heterophobia is a problem now in America. I know it is. Not just that I think, I know. When I see people being punished, when I want to, let's say, don't want to go and support gay marriage and how they get thrown on the bus. Look at what happened to the Kim Burrell, the gospel singer, who was in church preaching to deal with, I believe it was Pharrell. She lost the opportunity to go on Ellen's show, but who needs Ellen? There are other shows she could go on. She also lost her job at a radio station. Let's not forget also the brother Genuine, R&B singer, was on a reality show, and a transgender woman came up to him and tried to force herself on him, force a kiss, which in this day and age, and here's the hypocritical thing of it, that would be classified as assault, sexual assault, according to Me Too. But did you hear Me Too say anything about it? No, you did not. And in fact, Genuine was the one that was punished, or I don't know if the right word would be punished, but he was ostracized. He was criticized by people because he said he wasn't attracted to trannies, or he was not gay, or whatever he said. He wasn't attracted to that. And that person tried to kiss him, and, you know, he said, come up on me, come up off me, come up off me. But he got punished for it. You know, people are tired. People are upset with the status quo. People are tired of having these agendas forced on them consistently. And It's happening all over America. People are waking up. I think people are really waking up from this. They're tired of being bullied. For me saying this stuff, if it went out and anybody else that said they didn't support LGBTQ or anything like that, didn't necessarily agree with their ideologies, you could lose your job. It's just like when I'll never forget when Michael Sam got drafted. One of the Miami Dolphins players, I can't think of his name, he was a safety. They showed a picture or video of Michael Sam kissing his boyfriend and eating cake and throwing it in each other's face. It was, I had heard about that part, but I did see him embrace the boyfriend. And, you can tell it was clearly set up with the way ESPN had the cameras there. And Michael Sam, in truthfulness, reason why he is not in the league again has more to do with the fact that he ran damn near 4.9 or 4.8 when the fastest defensive lineman can run a 4.2 or 4.3. But and he even wrote an op-ed about how the gay community was racist to him. He said he experienced more racism than he did in the white gay community than he did homophobia, quote unquote homophobia, in the black community. Malik, you're wrong for making us the boogeyman with this shit. I'm just so tired of it. Be with who you want to be with, man, but bruh, hey, don't force it on me. Don't force it on us. Some things in truthfulness don't need to be broadcast. Who I'm attracted to, I don't. That's not my business. And if you bring it up, especially to some other people, people are gonna say something about it. You ask their opinion on it, well, and they give you something, and they answer you and tell you something that you're not gonna hear, that you're not gonna like. Thank you, Regina. But anyway, guys, I do want to just say something else too. When we're talking about buck breaking and so forth, and men not being men, I did see. I'm not trying to attack this brother, but Nate Parker. I saw that he's got a new movie coming out, and he has been apologizing frequently for some comments that he made concerning his 2016 movie, the comments about his 1999 trial, which ended in his acquittal. And from around 2016, when he did the Birth of a Nation movie, he received a lot of flack from a lot of you trolls, from a lot of these white supremacist trolls, these feminazis, with regards to, and this was even in national media, with regards to his acquittal. Now, he's been around apologizing for his comments and apologizing profusely about what happened with the girl, but you were acquitted. What do you have to apologize for? The evidence exonerated you. The evidence that I looked at when I saw those trial transcripts, because they were made available, he was found not guilty by this judge because the woman, by her own words, said she wanted to be with him. She liked him and she agreed to do this. So that wasn't rape. Now, what happened with his co-defendant, he was found guilty. The evidence may have been a little bit stronger against him, which is why he was not acquitted. That does happen. Now, it may not mean that he didn't do anything, but in the eyes of the law, you're innocent until proven guilty. It's not the burden on the defense to prove their innocence. It's the burden on the state to prove the guilt of the defendant. And they have to do so beyond reasonable doubt. And I don't think a lot of people understand what that means. You got Facebook lawyers, people that have never sat in a courtroom in their lives, think they know shit. Nate Parker shouldn't apologize for anything. If for anything you got blackballed because you did a movie about one of the greatest revolutionaries in Nat Turner. His partner was Gene Celestine, by the way. He shared a story credit for the birth of the nation. But Nate Parker had to apologize. Yeah, let me just put this up. He had to apologize for something that he had nothing to. Uh, he apologized for a tone-deaf response to a resurfaced rape charge. By the way, when you say resurface, we got to keep this in mind too. This was 20 fucking years ago. The alleged victim is deceased. Why are we going back over it? It's just like with OJ. Like, who goes back over stuff like this? And of course, this article is a story. I hate quoting things, guys from The Root, but here it is. I'm gonna do some future videos. I'll talk about the Nate Parker thing even more. But yeah, the black man, it's part of the discussion too with Malik Yoba. The black man is the boogeyman, and we can't get a break for nothing. But anyway, that was just my comments on it. Yeah, I thought Malik Yoba was off code with this. Love what you want, man, but hey, other people got a right not to respond, and some people, have a right to stay away from it if they choose to. That's their right. Everybody is not going to be attracted to the same thing. Everybody's not going to like what you like. But don't make us the boogeyman. Why is everything negative? That's it for me, man. You guys have a good one, okay? Thank y'all. Yeah, Regina, they want to make black men the black man, the face of all evil. Yeah, I think that's true. There's some truth to that. A lot of truth. Y'all have a good one.